New details today involving a program out of New York to deputize dozens of its armed residents in case of major emergencies. Nassau County officials making the announcement last March that they were seeking citizens with gun licenses to serve as provisional deputies and volunteer to, quote, protect human life when necessary. But that announcement did not go without dispute. Several people rallying against the county's new plan, fearing it may lead to over-policing and abuse of power, possible militias. So deputy training includes 12 hours of classroom instruction as well as practice on the firing range. 25 people have completed the training since the announcement. There's a goal of training 50 total. So I would like to welcome in Nassau County Legislator Delia DeRiggy-Whitten. Legislator Riggin, thank you so much for your time. First of all, where did this idea come from?
This is an example of a very old law that is still on our books that honestly does not apply to our life today, especially on Long Island. The original law is designed for mainly like a rural situation where if there was an emergency, like in our upstate areas possibly, where one police department had to join with another for a temporary emergency, they would be able to do so very quickly. If you read the law, it was not designed to have your own, what they're calling militia, at bay, which is basically the way that I heard the county executive describe is what he was aiming to do. What it would do is the way for the law to work, which is different again from what the county executive is explaining, is you would have to declare an emergency by your sheriff, not the county executive, the sheriff. And then that emergency would have to be approved by the governor. So this is not, the law itself does not allow for someone just to say, uh-oh, I'm concerned about something. I'm calling up my private group of citizens with guns to come in and help me. It's not allowed. We're not allowed to do that. Thank God there are provisions in the law. This is concerning to many people.
How has the community responded to this?
The first call I got was from law enforcement. They are mortified by this. They're not coming out too clearly about it, but I'm getting calls not only from Nassau County, but from the surrounding areas. Think of an emergency. Think of someone who is not maybe identifiable. I don't know what type of uniforms they'll have. They're supposedly going to have a badge, who shows up with a gun. If there's an emergency situation, I really believe that the number one concern I have is that this could cause a dangerous situation for our law enforcement. If you're not familiar with Nassau County, we have one of the largest, best trained police departments in the nation. We have 2,500 police officers. We then have the National Guard. There's absolutely no reason to call in private citizens with guns in emergencies. We have enough to be covered, number one. Number two, it didn't strike me, but I received so many emails from people that said, please be careful with this idea. This is sparking a feeling in me that is alarming, because some people are equating it to other situations, maybe in Europe, like in the 1930s, where private citizens were deemed deputies, and the control and the law and the training is just not the same. I mean, 12 hours of training is nothing compared to the 5 months of a police academy.
Who even came up with the training requirements? Where did they come from?
So the plan has changed a number of times from the county executive. First, I heard he was just going to make a list so he could be ready. But then people were criticizing that they weren't trained. So I think it was his idea to have them trained. So they are actually being trained in our police academy, but on a very lower level. He also mentioned that there were ex-military, ex-police. From what I hear now, most of the people that are left, there's only a few remaining, by the way, through the training. But from what I hear, they're mainly security guards. So the comparison of training in de-escalation, in just crowd control. I mean, imagine for a second, someone coming in, if originally I heard the county executive mention if malls were being looted or something, you really have to be careful in that situation. You need a trained expert. Right. You cannot have a private citizen going in with a gun who maybe isn't identifiable in a split second to our law enforcement.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.